5. The feeling that something is wrong. Why your brain knows before you do. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt something wasn't right? You couldn't explain it. Nothing looked obviously different. But deep down, you knew. That feeling isn't magic. It's your brain working in the background. Every second, your brain collects thousands of tiny details. A strange facial expression. An unusual silence. A missing object. A familiar smell. That suddenly disappears. Most of these signals never reach your conscious mind. But your brain notices them anyway. When enough tiny clues don't fit, it sends you one simple message. Something feels wrong. Scientists believe this is your brain's early warning system. It reacts long before you can explain why. Sometimes it's correct. Sometimes it's completely wrong. But it's always trying to protect you. So the next time your instincts tell you something isn't right, don't ignore the feeling. Instead, pause, look around, and ask yourself, what did my brain notice that I haven't noticed yet? Because sometimes, your conscious mind is the last part of you to understand what's happening. 4. Your brain hates uncertainty. Why your brain makes things up. Imagine walking through your house late at night. The lights are off. Suddenly, you hear a strange noise. Your heart starts racing. Was it someone inside? A burglar? Or just the wind? Before you even find the answer, your brain has already created one. Why? Because your brain hates uncertainty. When information is missing, it doesn't like waiting. Instead, it fills in the blanks. Using past experiences, emotions, and educated guesses. Most of the time, this helps you react quickly. But sometimes, it makes you believe things that aren't true. That's why people mistake shadows for people, hear their name in a noisy room, or assume the worst before knowing the facts. Your brain isn't trying to fool you. It's trying to protect you. But speed often comes at the cost of accuracy. So the next time you jump to a conclusion, pause for a second. Ask yourself, do I actually know the truth? Or is my brain simply filling in the missing pieces? Because sometimes, the scariest story exists only inside your mind. 3. Why your first impression is so powerful. Your brain judges people in seconds. A stranger walks into the room. Before they say a single word, your brain has already formed an opinion. Friendly, dangerous, confident, shy. All in just a few seconds. It feels like instinct. But it's actually your brain making an incredibly fast prediction. Scientists have found that people often form a first impression in less than a second. Your brain quickly analyzes facial expressions, body language, eye contact, even the tone of someone's voice. Then it creates a story before you even realize it. The surprising part? That first impression is incredibly difficult to change. Even after learning new information, your brain often keeps defending its original judgment. Psychologists call this the first impression bias. It's one reason why job interviews, first dates, and even meeting new friends can feel so important. So the next time you meet someone, ask yourself one simple question. Am I seeing who they really are? Or am I seeing the story my brain created in the first few seconds? Because sometimes, your biggest mistake happens before the conversation even begins. 2. The choice you never really made. Did you really choose, or did your brain choose for you? You're standing in front of two identical drinks. Nothing seems different. Without thinking, you reach for the one on the left. Easy choice. But was it really yours? Scientists have discovered that tiny details you never notice can quietly influence your decisions. The color of a package, the position on a shelf, even a word you saw just seconds earlier. Your brain processes all of it long before you're aware. Psychologists call this priming. Your brain receives subtle information, stores it in the background, then lets it influence what feels like a completely free choice. The strange part? Most people never realize it happened They genuinely believe, "I chose this because I wanted to." But sometimes, your brain was gently pushed, long before the decision appeared in your mind. This doesn't happen only in experiments. It happens while shopping, scrolling social media, watching advertisements, even talking to friends. So the next time you confidently say, "I made this choice," stop for a second and ask yourself, was it really my decision? Or did my brain quietly make it for me? 1. Your brain decides before you're aware. Did your brain make the decision before you did? Raise your right hand. Seems simple. You decided to do it. Or, did you? Scientists have discovered something astonishing. Your brain begins preparing for a decision before you're even aware of making it. In a famous experiment, researchers asked volunteers to press a button whenever they felt like it. At the same time, their brain activity was carefully recorded. The results shocked everyone. A signal inside the brain appeared hundreds of milliseconds before people consciously reported deciding to move. In other words, your brain had already started the action before your conscious mind said, "I choose to do this." Does that mean free will is an illusion? Not exactly. Scientists are still debating what these results truly mean. Some believe your unconscious brain prepares possible actions, while your conscious mind still has the final chance to stop them. Others think consciousness simply arrives later than we expect. Either way, this experiment changed how we think about decision-making forever. So the next time you make a choice, pause for just a second. Ask yourself, did I make this decision? Or did my brain quietly make it first? Because the most important decision you make today may have already begun before you even knew it.